Time, weather, and highways.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips. Heat, still the hot topic of weather conversation, right? Just smashed the previous record for rainfall in Tampa. It's still a very nice day. We've got some clouds out there, even a couple of sprinkles as another front rolls through the area. Most of us wake up to sunshine and then very warm temperatures in the afternoon. Temperatures, they're going up and they're staying up. Really nice forecast, especially if you're planning on going to the beach or the pool. Rain chances very slim. Another beautiful day in store. It's going to bring us a very high chance of storms. Some isolated showers across the area. Mother Nature likes to remind us that it isn't set by a calendar. We're always on it for you just in case things begin to pop.
Streaming from the ABC Action Weather Center in Studio A, this is Dennis Phillips Live Plus.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Wednesday night edition of DPL Plus, and look who we have here.
Man,
As my mom, look at the cat dragged in.
I dressed the part. These are nice. This is a nice quality sweatshirt.
Sean is wearing the new rule number 7.
Oh, is this new?
That's the newer version. Yeah, mine is the older one. Yeah.
I'm a model. Look at that. It's it's so warm and cozy. I'm getting a little quiet here on.
Take a close up on camera 2 here. I mean,
yeah, look, I'm a model. Look, I'm a male model. Let me sit up straight, make my mom proud. Look at that, rule number 7. Oh, I'm getting a little sleepy. I'm all warm and everything. I love it.
Now, Sean is not going to be talking about rule number 7, hurricane season. We've still got a few months away, but you're going to be talking about some cool happenings that have just been announced. Well,
yeah.
Today.
So I do a series for ABC's Instagram thing called Daily Discoveries, and of course I'm on the morning show. I know you're probably all Dennis Phillips fans or all late nighters, night owls, you know. But I do a lot of, we try to go to a lot of hidden gems and kind of off the beaten path and strip mall restaurants and kind of tell the stories of these people doing, these really cool things. And a couple, it just so happens that the Michelin muckety mucks who decide all over the world what's the number 1 restaurants, they picked today, they said they've recognized like 2 or 3, or I guess 4 places in Tampa as Michelin, as Michelin people, or as Michelin restaurants. And 2 of them I just went to.
And that's your shtick. I mean,
I got a lot of shtick. I got a lot of shtick, Dennis.
I'll be honest. I'm not up during hurricane season. I don't go to bed, so I catch the morning show.
I'm furious.
But
I'm taking off this sweatshirt.
So tell me how you've been doing that kind of stuff with the morning show as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that's a nice gig.
Yeah, it's a great gig. It's a great gig. So I got to tell a quick story because a couple weeks ago, Dennis and I took part in this meet and greet at the Tampa Convention Center with our amazing ABC Action News viewers, right? Mm-hmm. And 5,000 people show up to meet the great Dennis Phillips. 5,000. It's a rough estimate. All right? He's dreamy. He keeps us safe. He's hunky. All these people. 50 people said to me, "You look vaguely familiar."
That's not the way it played out.
No. A lot of people came up and talked to me, but they only wanted to talk about food with me. I do a lot of community heroes. I was playing with puppies on the show today down in Dogs Inc., a great nonprofit down in Palmetto. But the people at this meet and greet with us, they only wanted to talk about food with me,
And you're more than willing to oblige.
Yeah, I was just happy anyone wanted to talk to me. When the line for Dennis got too long, they're like, let's go to that guy over there. He's mildly amusing. So anyway, you and I said, hey, let's plus it up on DPL Plus and talk about some of these places. So I have a list of all these hidden gem restaurants for people, 2 of which were recognized by the Michelin people today.
So we got 4 stories right here. We got 4 of theirs.
Who knows what you're gonna click on?
Tell it. Why don't
that's not one of the Michelin, but let's do it anyway.
Oh, well, no, we can flip flop. So we that one.
Not that one.
That one.
Okay, this is one.
Okay.
Here we go. Right. This is Cousin Vinnie's. Got awarded a Michelin recommendation today. It's on Cass Street right now near the University of Tampa. And it's a great story. It's 4 New Yorkers, Long Island guys, all Italian, 3 of whom are graduates of the University of Tampa.
Nice.
And they started this restaurant, Cousin Vinnie's, and they excel at something, and it's right in front of me, called the scacciata. Now, Alessi Bakery does a scacciata. It's kind of like a cold pizza, but this is more like a sandwich where you got this Tuscan bread. You could probably start it unless it's going to be...
I don't know if it's going to let us talk over it, though, so my guess is, I'm looking here, it probably won't. So you go ahead and just tell people what they need to know before they see the story. Or should
really?
they just go
We're gonna let it go? Yeah, go ahead. Let it rip. Let it rip. Here we go. Sean Daly in the morning.
How do you pronounce
Dennis
it again?
has never seen any of this before.
Scacciata. All right.
When sandwiches are this pretty, you gotta get the name right.
We want everyone that comes in,
So this is the
you
guy.
know and
This is
feel that
Vinnie.
it's like
This is
2
cousin
o'clock on
Vinnie.
a
He and his
Sunday, which is
buddies,
when
all UT
Italian
graduates.
Americans
That's,
gather.
oh, look at
That's
that.
when you're with your family.
That's the scacciata right there. That's what you want to order.
Already
Anyway, this
hot.
place
Cousin
just
Vinnie's
opened.
Sandwich Company
Just
is the
opened,
tasty
and
creation
all
of
a
Chef
sudden, the
Vinnie
Michelin people
Andriotti
swoop in
and his
say,
New
"We are
Yorker
recognizing you."
buddies.
It is
Vinnie
so
opened the sandwich shop
incredibly
right by
good.
his
And
alma
just a
mater,
great story.
the University
And I
of
want to
Tampa.
shout out. There
and
you
he's
go.
ready
How
to
you
serve
doing?
you giant
And that's the
Italian
chicken
sandwiches
cutlet they
with a
also do.
twist.
It's a
Chicken
brine
cutlets
chicken
with
cutlet
spicy
and a
vodka
spicy
sauce.
vodka
Meatballs
sauce.
made with
The
pure
meatballs-
pecorino.
I want to take what I've
Dennis
learned in
Phillips, are
fine
made with
dining and
pure
apply
pecorino
it to the
cheese.
food that I've grown
There's
up
a
with.
real idea
All right,
here.
so
And
Cousin Vinnie's is
there I
a
am.
scratch kitchen.
Dennis, this
That
is the
means
great quality
everything is
entertainment you
fresh.
are missing.
And their
in the
specialty
morning.
I'm getting
is the
information overload. I'm
scacciata.
hearing you on the
This is
story, and I'm
prosciutto,
hearing you on
It's too
the
much Sean
Papa.
Daly.
Let's
It's
just
a lot of
say
Sean Daly.
everything delicious, including an artichoke cream
That's it.
spread, is on here. Look at that beauty.
What we're putting out is truly a piece of us. That's what's most important.
All right, guys, there you go, Cousin Vinnie's. This looks unbelievable. Look at that. You know, I go to a
nobody wants to
lot
see
of
the rest.
cool
Oh, wait, but you
places
are
for
gonna see
this
my
job,
Instagram
and you can
handle
check
coming
out
up.
all
Hold
my
on.
daily discoveries on Instagram
There it
at
is.
Sean Daly
Follow me,
TV.
everybody, on Instagram, Sean
And
Daly
you might as well
TV.
say hi to me when you're there. Come on over and say hi. In Tampa, at Cousin Vinnie's, about to eat. I am Sean Daly. BBC Action News.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Anyway, so that's Cousin Vinnie's on Cass Street. Right next door to it is a place called Santoro's Pizza. Santoro's claim to fame is that, and I did a story on them too, and you can probably find that somewhere. They did a Thanksgiving pizza where they put turkey and stuffing and cranberry sauce. And
Did you try it?
It was great. Of course I tried it. I'm not allowed to eat on TV because I guess stuff falls out of my mouth, and my boss, Sarah Moore, she's like, I don't want to see you eating on TV. So I get yelled at if I do that. But Santoro's right next to Cousin Vinnie's. Great. The Thanksgiving pizza, you ate one piece and you had to sleep for like 5 hours, but it was great. But check out Cousin Vinnie's, and the Michelin people, they love them too. Scacciata. I just like saying that. Scacciata.
All right, so we got that one. Now you have your IFB in, so you'll be able to hear if you're talking at the same time, because that was a lot of Sean Daly right then.
It's almost too much.
Well,
yeah.
not too much, but it was hard to understand one or the other. So that was that one. Now, what about and by the way, folks, we are going to talk a little bit about severe weather as well coming up, but Sean's here to talk about. This is some cool stuff.
If you need to talk about weather, I can sit here looking handsome in my sweatshirt and just behave myself.
We will do that, but I don't want you to behave yourself, first of all, because that makes no fun. and second of all, we still have some more stuff. So let's go to the next Michelin one. Would that be this one right here?
This is Mad Dogs and Englishmen. Now, this is another great story. This is in Tampa on McDill. And Mad Dogs and Englishmen, for 33 years, it was this small British pub, and they were going to shut it down. And then Blake Casper, who does Oxford Exchange and stuff, all the McDonald's, he comes in and says, no, we can't let this piece of Tampa history go down. So they reopen a Mad Dogs and Englishmen a block down the road on McDill, the corner of McDill and Gandy. It's a British pub. It's got all this wild art on the walls. And the Michelin people said, we love you too. It just opened, Dennis. And all of a sudden, they're getting recognized by the Michelin people. We're going to let it run?
All right, let's run
All right, here we go.
I'm not a very emotional person because I purposefully didn't look at it for 2 weeks until they put all the pictures up. And then I came on a Friday night and I actually choked up, which I'm not the sort of person who does that. And I had to go out in the parking lot and get myself together.
I'm chatting with the great Wilton Morley, son of famous English actor Robert Morley, and colorful king of the reimagined Mad Dogs and Englishmen in South Tampa.
It was important that it felt like a pub, so they would feel comfortable.
For 33 years, he owned a much quainter version of Mad Dogs just up the road. But this new home near the corner of McDill and Gandy is as big as his personality. A 6,000 square foot salute to British cuisine and comfort. A main partner in all this? Local restaurateur Blake Casper, who once worked for Morley as a busboy.
When he gets on a roll, I'll hear a news story. even after 30 years. There's more and there's more.
A lot of the art from the old place is in the new place. Plus, don't miss the mural that nods to Morley's celebrity friends like Lauren Bacall and Russell Crowe.
How did you discover Russell Crowe?
Well, I discovered Russell Crowe because I was a
discovered Russell
theatrical
Crowe.
producer in Australia in another life.
For the rest of that story, you'll have to visit Mad Dogs and Englishmen.
Oh, guys, will you look at that food? I am so impressed by Mad Dogs and Englishmen. Hey, they are now open for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch 8 days a week. Kids, ask your parents about that joke. At Mad Dogs and Englishmen in South Tampa, I am Sean Daly, ABC Action News.
Okay, so first of all, and this is a legitimate question, what about the price for these places? I mean, you know, would you, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the most expensive, what would you say?
I would give it a 3.
Okay.
A 3.
Right, so
but let me say, so Cousin Vinny's is going to be cheaper than Mad Dogs and Englishmen. That's more of a conventional restaurant, sit-down stuff. But it's got 6 different themed rooms. So if you want to go watch a game, or if you want to go watch DPL or Dennis Phillips or anything, they have an outdoor bar. And then they have like a garden room. They have where I was interviewing Wilton. They have, you know, it's called the Moroccan room. So it's kind of different levels of fancy. And then they have a great just indoor British pub with, you can get your Guinness. Are you a Guinness guy at all?
I am not.
I'm too wimpy. I'm not
heavy.
manly enough. Yeah, I'm not manly enough to drink Guinness.
Hey, so
Yeah.
somebody it was their birthday. I just saw this pass by and they wanted a birthday shout out and now I cannot find her. I'm looking on here because we like to do our birthday shout outs, but post it again because I don't see it. And
yeah, read me some of the fun comments. What a sandwich.
Well, Mary says, guys, your mics are live. We did know that, and that was why, you know, I thought if you hear Sean on the story and you hear Sean, that's a lot of Sean.
That is a lot. Normally just one me is more than enough for anybody. This sweatshirt is so comfortable. I'm so slouchy right now. I don't even care about my posture. I just want to take a nap.
Well, you should be, because what time, if you get up for the morning show, what time do you usually go to bed?
If I'm live, I go to bed around 10 and get up around 3.
Yeah.
But you don't sleep. You're like Prince. You famously don't sleep.
Yeah, during hurricane season,
You're a genius. Geniuses don't sleep. Everyone knows that.
I remember back in the day when I did the morning show, I worked in Providence for like 5 months, and I was the morning guy there. And I remember remember when the Braves were playing and Sid Bream, he made an error, I think, or something happened in the playoffs. This would have been like 93 or 94. Anyway, I didn't watch the game because I had to go to bed.
Right.
And I told myself, I will never miss, and this was like a big game, a game 7. I said, I will never miss another big event because of lack of sleep. So I just, you know, and I'll tell you this.
I totally get that. And what I do, when I fool myself thinking, oh, I'll catch the score later, I just stay up and I check the score. I'm in bed checking the score anyway. I might as well stay up and watch the game, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. And my weird superpower is I can get like an hour's sleep and still be like this at like 5, 6 in the morning, like hyper.
That is a superpower.
It is.
Now, I remember...
It's an annoying superpower, but it's a superpower.
I remember the first time I ever saw you on the morning show. It was a weekend, and you were live at Epcot.
I have great Epcot stories. Go ahead, yeah.
And I just remember watching, and I think it was the Food and Wine.
Oh, yeah.
And I see...
Yeah, I have some stories.
I'm sure you do.
So a quick Epcot story. I think I'm allowed to tell this. So I go to Epcot for Food and Wine Festival. Oh, yeah. We'll get to that, Aaron Maloney, in a second. All right, so I'm
at Paula's birthday, by the way. My birthday Friday. Paula, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Paula. I'm sending you this sweat. Actually, I can't say that. No, this sweatshirt's mine. Anyway, I'm at Disney, right? And I'm live. And if you've ever seen me in the morning, I'm a little crazy. And I have Mickey Mouse with me at Epcot, okay? Now, everyone there, you're not allowed to say, is that a guy or a girl in Mickey Mouse? Because they're like, what are you talking about? Right. It's Mickey Mouse. Right. It's the boss. They all call him the boss, right? So I'm doing a tease coming up for my hit. And I say, when I come back, Mickey Mouse and I are gonna drink our way around the world.
That's what I remember.
Drink around the world at Epcot. And so the tease ends and the Disney executives swoop in and they're like, hey, we're gonna have to pull Mickey from
Really?
It took 2 years of me going to Disney till they allowed me to have a character again.
Wow.
It was a long time ago. If my bosses are watching, I learned a lot that day.
I think that's when I was watching. I really think that was the show.
It was Frank Barrera. Shout out to one of the great photographers in ABC history. You know Frank well.
I know Frank.
Frank was there, and the look on his face when I said that he's smiling, he's like, well, there goes Mickey. And they pulled Mickey like, hey. And then Mickey kind of walks away with his gloves. He just kind of waves to me, and they pull him. No characters for 2 years.
Wow. Well, and I think I was watching that, but you know they're very careful with the characters.
Extremely.
I mean, you know that's.
I have more stories, but that's for the next DPL Plus.
All right. So by the way, I want to wish it was Paula. Let's see, Paula Miners Foster's. Paula Miners Foster's birthday. So there, Paula Miner Foster. There you go. Last year in her 50s. She's 59.
Oh, awesome. That's
so
great,
happy
Paula.
birthday, Paula.
There you go. Look, someone shouted out my old Tampa Bay Times. I used to be the music critic at the Tampa Bay Times. I miss it very much.
This man's done a lot of stuff. I mean,
yeah, but you start racking up the years like you and I, and we do a lot of stuff. I was a game show host on the Home Shopping Network.
Oh, I did not
You
know
think
that.
I'm crazy now? Oh my gosh, yeah, that's what we're. Hey, by the way, I'm gonna shout out for this young woman, Erin Maloney. I guess that's her name, Maloney. I'm joking, obviously.
Yeah.
Alfonso's, the oldest pizzeria in Tampa. Alfonso's, run by like 2 or 3 people in Tampa. It's great. But
what
it's
are
the
these
oldest.
2 we got here? We got 2 more videos.
We have, let's see.
one.
Oh, let's do this one. All right. This is going to be
This one or
Gonzo's.
this
All right,
one?
that one right there. So the best sandwich, that one right there.
Okay.
So let me set this up. This is lovely. About 3 blocks from ABC Action News from our studio, there's a place called Gonzo's, and it's a strip mall, and you would drive right by it if you didn't know about it. Gonzo's was opened by a young man and his father, okay? Very, very small. You go in, there's not a lot going on in there. And his dad passed away a couple years ago, and the son, Chef Bill, decided to go on and to keep doing it. It's him and another guy running this whole thing. Here's the thing about Gonzo's. They might have the best sandwich in Tampa Bay, and it is called the pork drizzle. You talk to a lot of our friends. I just referenced Frank Barrera, a lot of our friends, Tony Jacobson, the great Tony Jacobson who works here. We all know about the pork drizzle. It's brilliant. Watch this. I love this story. Gonzo's. One guy running the kitchen. Check this out. I won't talk. Hello, my foodie friends. It's your pal, Sean Daly. You know, a few blocks away from ABC Action News on Himes Avenue, you'll find a place called Gonzo's. We wandered in here a few years ago, and it became an instant favorite.
At Gonzo's Sandwich Shop in West Tampa. Before you learn how Chef Bill Gonzalez makes the epic pork drizzle and the West Tampa, you need to know why he makes them.
He was retiring. I didn't want him to sit around all day and do nothing and watch baseball and call me every 5 minutes.
Bill is talking about his father, Butch. They opened Gonzo's together a decade ago. Best friends who loved making people happy with Cuban-based cuisine. When Butch passed away a few years ago,
My dad would not want me to give this up,
so Bill now runs the kitchen alone. His buddy Mo runs the counter. And together they've built a loyal fan base hungry for sandwiches like the pork drizzle.
It took us about 6 years to actually come up with. We worked on that pork for a long time in my dad's kitchen.
Braised pulled pork, caramelized onions, that mojo mayo, all on fresh, locally baked Cuban bread. The West Tampa twists up the classic Cuban.
Corned beef instead of salami, which we make in-house.
Gonzo's is the epitome of a hidden gem.
We just try to make people happy. We're not trying to overcharge. We're trying to give you something really tasty to eat. You know, hospitality, just be nice to people. All right, guys, which one is it gonna be? You want the pork drizzle? You want the West Tampa? Oh man, it's tough to decide. You might as well eat them both. Hey, for more cool places like Gonzo's and all my daily discoveries, head on over to my Instagram page at Sean Daly TV. I got a lot of good places for you to visit. At Gonzo's in Tampa, I am Sean Daly, ABC Action News.
You know what is interesting is I was sitting here listening to the story behind it. It reminded me of the bear.
Oh, wow.
Because remember in the bear, his brother
yeah.
died and left the restaurant to him. And you know, this was his father, obviously, but you could tell his son, he wanted to continue the tradition of that restaurant.
I think it makes him feel closer to his dad. And, you know, if I could be serious for a second, you know, we just don't go into any restaurant. You know, we want to go and tell a story. right? We want to go and tell a good story and talk about good food and why people are doing what they're doing and, you know, kind of share about some of these smaller places. We don't do a lot of chains, nothing wrong with chains, you know, but we want to go to these hidden gems, places that you would drive by 100 times, you know? And then one person goes to Gonzo's. I do want to say, I'm no Dennis Phillips, but after that Gonzo's story ran, and he was having, after the pandemic, he was really, really suffering, and he was having trouble getting back again. After that story ran, he ran out of food. He had to shut down at like 12:30, 1 o'clock. Next day it happened again. I had people from ABC Action News going to Gonzo's to get a pork drizzle, and they're like, Sean, it's all sold out. And I'm like, I love that.
That's the power of Sean Daly right there.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's the power of ABC Action News, and it's the power of good people going and supporting local. Support local, shop local. I tell my daughters, I'm a single girl dad, you know, Ava and Maya, I'm like, go out to all these local places, take a chance. I'm gonna shout a place out in Pinellas Park. I don't have a video for it. It's called the Colonial Corner Hoagie Shop. And I did one of these daily discoveries about it that you can see on my Instagram. And Philadelphia Magazine, it's this little place in a strip mall in Pinellas Park. You would never pull in there. It's this 85-year-old woman running it from Philly. And Philadelphia Magazine happened to go in there, and they said, it's the best Philly cheesesteak outside of Philadelphia. Wow. And it's for $10. It's real. It's fresh baked bread. It's, what is it, like an imported ribeye, shaved ribeye, little cheese on there, and it's great. And it's not sloppy and giant. It's just for $10 you get a great, and it's amazing.
You know, and there's some big Philly cheesesteak places in this area.
Delco's is massive. I mean, those things are delicious. I mean, they're the size of footballs. But you know, here's my thing. Delco's is great. I love it. I go there every time I drive by. But nobody knows, you know, Colonial Corner Hoagie. It's been just sitting there, you know? And I love those stories. And I wish I did it more. I wish I pulled into more strip malls, you know, and took chances. I feel like you're a kind of diner like that. You have a place you got me onto in New York City called The Bow. Yeah. I don't know. I know you got to do, you have to do weather and stuff. No, but this is a very funny story. So I'm going to New York City. Dennis is like, you got to go to a place called The Bow. And The Bow is in East Village, and it excels at soup dumplings. Okay, so I'm taking my daughters to New York City, and I say, okay, Dennis Phillips approved. Did you even like bring them back with you after you visit, right?
I've done it a couple of times where I've been up to New York, and I literally will go to get carry out on the way to the airport and bring him onto the plane with me, which awesome. You probably shouldn't do, but they're, you know, but I did anyway. And it's funny because I went last week to New York, and that's why we went to New York. I had a free voucher for a couple of flights, and I'm like, we're going to go to New York for the day, go to The Bow, get dumplings, and come back and see a show. And that's actually what we did. And those dumplings are hot.
So that's my story. So those dumplings are so incredibly hot. I take Ava and my daughters there.
Not temperature hot.
We go in there, the place is packed, and when we walk in, we're the only you know, English-speaking people in there, right? And everyone's kind of laughing at us, very smiling, but also kind of laughing, almost like you're really in for it. And we're like, doop-de-doop. And so I just point to a couple soup dumplings on there, and Ava and Maya, they're really adventurous eaters, and the food comes in these beautiful baskets, and these soup dumplings are just exquisite, right? And I eat one, and I'm like, I'm kind of bent down. I'm like, oh, that's incredibly hot. And I look up, and my daughter's, Maya, is like, eh, and there's soup dumpling pouring out of her mouth. I look at Ava, my other daughter, she is beet red. And she's like, Dad. And I'm like, oh, we got Dennis Phillips. But then they hung in there, and everyone in the restaurant is laughing at us.
Well, and what I've learned is you take the dumplings, and you put them on a bed of rice. So you have some white rice on the bottom.
You didn't tell me the rice tip.
Actually, I just learned that. But, you know, because you lift up a soup dumpling, they'll spill, you lose the liquid, and it is as hot, I mean, not temperature hot, like spicy hot. You start sweating.
Oh, yeah, but that's good
so
stuff.
Hot.
Here's the thing I like about, if a food's hot, but it tastes good, I don't like heat for the sake of, you know, sometimes wings are like, you know, nuclear wings, but they taste terrible, you know? If hot food, but it still tastes good, I don't mind that heat, you know? But The Bow, we still talk about it. And because of you, we have one of our favorite stories in the Daly family. It's legit.
I think it's 13 St. Mark's Place in the Village, because like I said, I went there last week. Hey, real quick, totally changing subject, but I do want to mention this. Susan mentioned this, said her husband is getting cancer treatment this week, so wishing him prayers and good luck to her bud, and she said from my bud. So if you're watching Susan's husband, hang in there, we got you.
That's awesome.
And we still have oh, no, so there, by the way, Paul is talking about tasty cakes at Delco's. And,
well, Tasty Cakes is, I mean, I went to high school in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, right outside of Harrisburg, so I know Tasty Cakes really, really well. They're delicious.
And they sell them at Wawa's. Because if you go to Wawa's, you can get Tasty Cakes,
The chocolate ones, the real simple ones. I know they have the crumpets, right? But the simple ones where you peel off the frosting first.
On the top.
It's so good.
Sometimes
Tasty
they're
Cakes.
filled and sometimes they aren't. They have them both, and they sell them at Wawa. All right, you got one more place, or one more story. I believe it was this one.
Yeah, you want to do this is really cool. Mowgli's Tiffen, this is over in St. Pete now, just opened up. Amita Mukherjee, she was raised in St. Pete. Her parents were born, they're from India. And she started this place called Mowgli's Tiffen. Now, Tiffen is Indian for lunch pail or midday light snack. Okay, and so it's only open for lunch, and you go in there, and the idea is like sometimes you go to like Indian food, it'll be delicious, but you eat too much and you get really sleepy. She wants it to be like kind of power you up, all really flavorful stuff, and it's taken off. And again, Heather Lee, who's been on your show before, one of our anchors here, this story ran, and she went to Mowgli's Tiffen in St. Pete, brand new, and she's like, Sean, it was slammed. I couldn't get in there. I sound like I'm humble bragging here, but again, I love helping these small places.
All right, let's go.
To me, street food connotates quick, easy, so flavorful, and people grab it on the go.
Amita Mukherjee and Chef Kai are serving up downtown St. Pete's hottest new eats. Bengali street food, Indian cuisine at Mowgli's Tiffen.
This is my passion project. I wanted to bring Indian food to the city that I grew up in, the type of food I like.
First of all, Mowgli, like the Jungle Book, Tiffen is this, a lunchbox or a midday snack.
Yeah, if we gave him some papri chaat just to try, that would be good.
Amita's parents are from India. She was raised in St. Pete.
My high school is right down the street. My Shorecrest friends are all around and come and support me.
The restaurant blends those influences. Yes, you can get butter chicken at this lunch spot, but it has a light, flavorful twist, and it's called the Buttery Bird Bowl. You don't need a nap after eating this kati roll, essentially an Indian burrito. And then there's Pop Goes to Puri, which even comes with playful directions.
All right, guys, one of the must orders at Mowgli's Tiffen is the pani puri. It's these little fried critters. Look at that. You poke a hole in them, then you stuff them with deliciousness, then you pour sauce in them, then pop it in your mouth. Boop.
So it's just a very simple menu, come in, get one thing, and go back to work, but have all the flavors and not feel heavy and dense and needing a nap.
All right, guys, there you go. You can tell when I'm super excited about a place, and I just can't wait to launch my face into all this food at Mowgli's Tiffen. They are open 11 to 3 every day except Sunday when they're closed. And hey, if you want to find even more cool restaurants that I go to, check out my Instagram at Sean Daly TV. You can see all my daily discoveries. All right, guys, I gotta go now. I gotta eat. I'll see you later. Reporting in St. Pete, I am Sean Daly, ABC Action News.
Dude, that's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food. The pani puri is super fun. I have a weird energy, so I like food I can also play with, but responsibly. By the way, Annie on Facebook was saying she doesn't like spicy food. Here's the thing about Mowgli's Tiffen. The spice isn't crazy. It sits in the back of your throat a little bit, but real pleasantly. It's not like the bao. Annie, you're not going to get blown away by spices and start sweating. The whole thing, it's just a great idea. Like, it fills you up, but you're not logy, you don't need a nap. Really, really, and these are all the people we're talking about for the most part are really young, smart restaurateurs and chefs. This area, and you know this stuff, the Tampa Bay area for culinary is insane how much talent we have here, you know? And we had a lot of people from New York coming down because the rents were cheaper and there's a sophisticated palate down here. It's great.
Well, and Jules asked about the restaurant, The Bao. It's B-A-O, it's in the East Village, and it's 13 St. Mark Street, or 13 St. Mark's Place, I guess, and it's amazing. So we've covered 4 of the restaurants, and
we shouted some out.
Yeah, go ahead. Now, streamers, you only have another 30 seconds quickly, and we're going to continue on Facebook with some weather stuff, but our next front comes in Sunday night, Monday morning. Some rain, a couple of storms, no big deal. Severe weather potential for the deep south. Alabama, I think, is going to get hit pretty hard on Saturday night into maybe western Georgia as well. tomorrow night, we'll have more on regular DPL, where we'll talk all about the severe weather threat and how it's going to impact us. We've got another 10 seconds, so we're going to continue on Facebook for streamers. Thanks for stopping by. Sean, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I love it.
We will see
you
again
I get to keep
soon.
the sweatshirt?
All right, so we are off streaming, and now we're back on Facebook. So we're going to continue. So what were some of the other places that you
Oh,
didn't,
yeah,
that
just
you wanted to touch
shouting
on?
out fun places if you want, if you're still watching us. Born and Bred Bakehouse in Lakeland is a bakery that is so incredibly good. This is New York style. Like, think about the best bakery in New York, and Born and Bred Bakehouse in Lakeland is just, I can't believe I got a Monte Cristo there. Or maybe it was a croque monsieur. How's my French there?
I wouldn't know.
Great. Ha Long Bay in Pinellas Park if you like dim sum. Woo Asian Fusion is a young couple in Seminole Heights, one of my favorites. By the way, the other two places that got Michelin recommendations are Big Ray's Fish Camp. There's one right next to the convention center. And a place called Fisk, seafood place I'm not sure about. I haven't been to. But maybe that's my next daily discovery.
Well, you mentioned this, and I've not been able to find any place in Tampa, and it's because I maybe don't go out enough, that has soup dumplings even remotely close to what I found. And I'm not a food snob. I wouldn't even, look, this man's educated when it comes to this stuff. I mean, he does. He knows his stuff, and he'll go to a restaurant, and I have a feeling you probably can pick out the subtleties and the specifics of something that's really good. I don't know that. So I don't want to insult anybody who has soup dumplings, but I've never had any locally ever. I can't find a place that even sells them. So what places?
So if you're talking about the bao, I mean, the bao is just the best of the best. And so you're getting the bao, the soup dumplings are, and that wrapping is, you know, it's got some give to it, right? You got to be careful the way you eat it. But that Ha Long Bay does have soup dumplings.
Where is that again?
Ha Long Bay is in Pinellas Park.
Okay.
Again, another strip mall place, family owned. The dim sum carts, do you know dim sum? You go, you pick it out, and they have on like Saturdays and Sundays, they'll have the carts going around and stuff. And my kids love it. Again, the Daly girls. So my daughters, I don't know if this happened with you. You have like 17 children, so you know. But the Daly girls skipped the macaroni and cheese and chicken nuggets on like the kids menu when we go out to eat. And so I take my kids out to eat, and they're 3 years old, and they're like stone crabs, and I'm like, these kids
That's
are.
my daughter the same way. It's a girl thing. It's got to be a girl thing.
Well, I think these kids today, like with all the social media, I think there's a sophisticated palate out there. And so my kids are like, sushi, soup dumplings. So I'm like, what about the mac and cheese?
Right.
They're like, don't give me that kid menu.
It's funny you say that because my youngest daughter, Ryan, 10, and she does not use kid menus anymore because she's just like my older daughter, Kendall. She wants filet. She wants the good stuff. And I'm sitting here eating off the value meal or whatever, and they want what they want. And I guess it's my fault for allowing it, but you know what? You're a dad. What are you going to do? You're not going to say yes to your girls.
I love it, but again, stone crabs, they're like...
They're pricey, right?
60. By the way, I went to a great place on Tierra Verde. Do you guys know Billy's Stone Crab? It's been there 53 years. And my daughter Ava, she came home from college, and I said, all right, we'll do 2 of the large stone crab, $60 a pop. For the colossals, it's $90 a plate.
Dang.
I think you get 2. But we're big stone crab fans. It's kind of become tradition in our family.
So, I mean, a lot of times I live over in Palm Harbor, so there's a Frenchie's has a takeout area right across from the restaurant. It's a right on the causeway,
yeah.
a store, and I get stone crabs there. Riverside Seafood in Tarpon Springs, I've gotten my blue crabs there.
Ooh, Old Bay?
Well, I'll steam them myself. Now, there used to be a place, may still be there, may not, I don't know. There used to be a place, I think, off of Gandy called Icy Sharks.
Oh, yeah, it's still there.
Well, they will do, at least they used to, they will do bushel and half bushels of Old Bay. And you just sent me a picture of dumpsters from Fenwick Island, Ocean City.
Yeah.
So he knows the area. I mean, I didn't grow up on the eastern shore of Maryland, but I grew up in Northern Virginia, and we'd go to Ocean City.
We know OC, Thrasher's French fries. Yeah, we've talked about that.
And so Icy Sharks would sell bushels, and they would load it up with the Old Bay, and they were as true to Chesapeake as I know of. Riverside Seafood, again in Tarpon, they have really great blue crabs. I don't believe they'll steam them that way, but if you want to steam them yourself, you can.
You have a Krabby Bill's, a brand new Krabby Bill's in downtown Palm Harbor.
We do. I have not been yet. That building has been through some drama. It's gone from owners of one store to owners to another restaurant, and now Krabby Bill's there. And the early take has been positive reviews from people around there.
When I go to seafood places, I love Raw Bar.
Jillian's here.
Oh, Oh, hi,
Hey, Jillian.
Frenchie's Market, yum. There she is.
Jillian is his handler. Is that a way to describe it?
Yeah. Like somebody was booking me for something the other day, and they went through Jillian. Hey, we'd like to book an MC for the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, and they went through Jillian to book me for it. You know?
Jillian is
and she hates that. She's like, she rages.
Does she?
I don't know if she does or not.
She is the biggest Bolts fan that I know of anywhere. And Jules, I know you are a big Bolts fan, but Jillian, she is a diehard fan. In fact, I don't want to call out the sports guys in previous regimes or whatever, but anytime anybody wanted to know a lightning stat, they wouldn't go to the sports guys. They'd go to Jillian.
She knows the X's and O's, too.
Yeah,
I'm not great. Listen, I love the Bolts. I've done a lot of Bolts stories, but hockey is probably, as far as X's and O's, love going to the games. It's the greatest experience there, but I don't know a ton about hockey. It's probably my least.
I will tell you that this coming Monday, I've not told anybody this, but this Monday, I'm going to the Lightning game, and the radio guys have reached out to me, and they're going to have me do some radio with them.
No way.
Yeah,
oh, that's great.
I think during the second period of Monday's game against the Flyers.
Oh, that's awesome. Are you going to do play-by-play?
I don't know. I've not been told. I don't think I couldn't do play-by-play. I could do color. And you know, I'll talk about pet peeves. I don't know how we got this, but nothing ticks me off more than when you have someone out there, and I'm talking about sports, and they'll throw out the stick to weather, stay in your lane. Dude, I know more about sports than I do weather, and that is a fact. I could have been a sports guy, but it's a lot easier to get a job in this business in weather if you have a degree in meteorology as opposed to a sports.
What's your number one sport that you know the most about?
Oh, baseball.
Is it baseball? See, Dennis and I are in 2 fantasy football leagues together. I did horrible in your league this year.
That was a tough year. Sarah destroyed us all. Not Sarah, our boss. Sarah, former producer, had just a dynasty team.
Yeah, she's really, really good.
Yeah, she knows
She comes in with a giant book. It's very intimidating.
Yeah.
But wait, so baseball, so who's your team?
I grew up an Orioles fan, but when I left Baltimore and came here, obviously, I got a story for you. My oldest son, I don't know how we got in this. My oldest son, Brett, okay, I named him after Brett Butler, Atlanta Braves, right?
Yeah.
The Braves were playing the Dodgers and Chavez Ravine, and I was working in LA at the time. I brought my oldest son, Brett, when he was 1 day old, to the Dodgers game. And I had him in a picture with the Jumbotron behind me when Brett Butler was up. So you saw Brett Butler on the back, and me holding in a Dodgers uniform, Brett Phillips.
That's awesome.
6 days old, I had him, this makes me a bad father, but 6 days old, I had him in Vegas with me. We went to Vegas, and I am convinced that the lights of Vegas stimulated his brain because he got a perfect score on his SATs, and he's a doctor, he's a pediatrician.
There's a lesson for everybody. As soon as your babies are born, go to Vegas.
Go to Vegas at 6 days old and go to a baseball game at 1 day old, and they will, and he got a full ride in college with scholarship, so it worked. It was strategic. Now, none of the other ones have been the baseball fans that Brett was.
Yeah. That's great. Is there a picture of that somewhere?
I have one somewhere. Yeah, and I'm
That's
literally
awesome.
holding it. I didn't know what I was doing because it was my first kid.
I'll be at Chavez Ravine in a couple.
So you were
weeks,
telling me,
Dodgers
yeah.
opening day.
So
I was at. I didn't know you were an Orioles fan. You know, I was at 2131 for Cal. I was at the game he.
Oh, you were there.
I was there. My mom worked for Johns Hopkins. At the beginning of the season, she got free tickets. She's like, "What game do you want?" And I said, was it September 5th, I think, right? September 5th, September 6th, yeah?
Yep.
2131. Sorry, this is really nerdy now, but
Yeah.
it's my best game ever I've ever been to. That's great. Have you been to Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota where the Orioles play?
Say that again?
Have you been to Ed Smith Stadium?
I have
where the
not.
Orioles? Oh, it's
I have not.
fantastic. I was there the other day.
In Bradenton?
Sarasota.
Okay, well,
Ed Smith,
right.
yeah.
The Pirates play in Bradenton, right?
Yeah, McKechnie. But I wore an Orioles number 33 jersey, who is...
Is either Cal or Brooks? No. Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray. There you go.
That's right.
There you go. I'm really glad. And one of my favorite baseball players of all time, Jim Rice for the Red Sox, Eddie Murray. I don't know what happened here.
Eddie Murray was, I believe, the only player to hit X number of home runs from both sides of the plate.
Did he pass Mantle maybe or something like that?
I can't remember, but I know he had over 500.
Yeah.
But I can't remember exactly what the number is.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Jules knows Eddie Murray. Yeah,
there you go. Thank you.
She's a big Orioles fan and a big Crab Cakes fan. Yes, because and a big Eastern Shore fan.
Is she saying squirrel like squirrel?
Yes, that's the thing that I do, because when you know me, I'm kind of like you in this way. I'll go here, especially on DPL, and we'll do squirrel, because that's kind of
I'm
what
perfect
it's like.
for that.
Now, Beth has been to Ed Smith Stadium. I have never gone.
It's great. 7,000, so it's about 4,000 smaller than Steinbrenner. Real intimate. Yeah, you can get all your, you can get Utz there. You can get Boog's Barbecue at Ed Smith.
My dad's nickname for me was Boog, because I played first base.
Really?
Through high school into college, and he was a big Boog fan.
It is great. The Orioles did a great job. If you're an Orioles fan, you got to go. But it is the ultimate spring training. Like, it's not overdone. It's easy to get around, easy to park, a little neighborhood. I loved it. What do we got on here? Nerdy
Sean and hashtag Sciencey. So that's yeah. I need to get down there. I typically stick around. In fact, so Monday I'm going to the Lightning game, and with Dave, doing the radio thing.
That's great.
And then Wednesday, because it's spring break next week, I'm doing the Phils and the Phils and the Yankees over at Threshers.
Oh wow!
At the park over there. I love that park, and I was telling one of our producers, Jocelyn, who says that she's a big Phillies fan. But I was giving her grief because she's yet to go to a Phillies minor league game.
Oh, that's great
in Clearwater.
That's a great park.
Stadium.
Now that's a much bigger experience than, say, Ed Smith and the Orioles.
Because there's so much to do. There's a Delco's there, by the way, too. There's a Delco's that sells the
cheesesteaks.
And then Frenchie's has a
Tiki Hut.
Yeah, that's it. And so I used to play in a lot of charity games at that park.
Oh, really?
And
could you jack it? Could you put it out?
One time.
You knocked one out?
One time.
Was that the greatest feeling in your life?
It was, because it was off of Al Leiter.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I played a little ball, but what was funny about it is it was mostly Phillies fans. So it was a Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association. So we would play the game prior to the Phils game. So you had a lot of Phillies fans there. And I was either shortstop or left field in these games. And when I was in left field, the Philly fans didn't care that they were just heckling like crazy. It was great. And I was having to move me around. They're like, 5 steps over this way. I'm like, all right. So I go, and then they're like, yeah. Of course, the ball would then go in the other direction. But I mean, I used to play these games. I mean, we played. These guys were my heroes growing up. Kingman, George Foster,
Dave Kingman, wow,
Johnny Bench, Doug Flutie played. You know who also played a lot of celebrities? Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Jason, country singer. Jason, I'll think of it. He's third baseman. I can't remember. Anyway. And then who else? Kevin Bass, Wade Boggs, Al Leiter, Goose Gossage.
Aldean? Jason Aldean?
Jason Aldean.
Oh, okay.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
He threw me out at first one time. But
wait, no, when you jacked one off of Al Leiter.
I did.
He wasn't going. He didn't.
No, they don't
zip
throw
it in there at 90.
No.
God, I would love that.
I'll tell you what, it was interesting though. Some of a lot of the younger guys who have just retired, right? And they're in there just having a good time, and they didn't care. Some of the older guys who wanted to show they could still bring it would still try to throw high and tight. And you know who one of them was? Goose Gossage.
Oh my God!
Goose Gossage
had that windup too that was really deceptive.
He would throw high and tight on you, and I'll tell you a story. So Bubba the Love Sponge played in one of these games, and I'll tell you, Bubba could play. Yeah, he could play a little bit, and Gossage went up high and tight on him, and I was convinced he'd then go low outside break. Well, and then I figured he'd throw a curveball outside and he'd strike, he'd whiff out, and knees would buckle, it'd be done. He didn't. Yes, he went low and outside. Yes, he threw a breaking ball, but he did not strike out on that pitch. I think he grounded out to second. And I'm like, that's saying something, because when someone throws upper 80s in like that, and you're not used to
make
playing,
your knees buckle.
Right? The next pitch, he threw a breaking ball, and he hung in there. So
yeah, I would have been like, that's it, I'm out. I would have just swung it.
Right?
Yeah.
So now Jay Crawford, our old sports guy, he broke a guy's arm in that game. Yeah, wow. Jay was a pitcher, and and it was in it. I don't remember who it was, but he hit him in the forearm, and it broke his arm.
Oh my.
Yeah, and they didn't let him pitch anymore. And I will tell you, Jay and I had a head-to-head, and I fouled off so many pitches off him, and literally it was about an 11-pitch at bat. And he went one a little bit outside, and I just poked it to right field. Just a little blooper into right, and I got a base hit.
What was your stance like? Did you keep the bat moving? Were you like Gary Sheffield?
I always tap 3 times off the back, and then I don't move it too much. But he went outside, and I just popped it to right, and that's the only time I ever went up against him, and I got a hit. And Jake Crawford's a ball player. I mean, you might not remember Jay.
Yeah.
Jay was a good-looking ball player, he played he was 30-something years old, and he played in an 18 and over league in Clearwater, which shows you that he can compete with guys throwing.
Yeah.
Problem with those leagues is a lot of the guys didn't like to wear helmets, and I'm like, dude, if you're 18 and throwing 90 and you're in this league, it's because you have no control, and I ain't stepping up against that with no helmet on. It ain't gonna happen.
I feel like people are really learning. Have you talked about this before?
Never.
You're getting these amazing Dennis Phillips fun facts.
I never talked about that.
Your stance? I'm like, look at me. I'm fanboying here. Like, tell us more.
But these games are so much fun, and they don't do them anymore. And Chris Torgensen was the guy who ran the MLB PAA at Tropicana Field. Jason Adams, not our Jason Adams here. Jason Adams is the general manager of the Threshers over in Clearwater, and he would play in these games too. And I mean, it's just like I would sit in the dugout and listen to the stories.
Oh, man,
Because there's so many amazing, I was a kid in a candy store. These guys were my idols growing up. And there were some guys who would just, here's a good story. So Michelle Smith, pitcher, Olympic pitcher, Olympic softball pitcher, right? So this is a great story. So she comes out in every game, they bring her out, and she was an Olympic pitcher, right? And she comes up against some of these great players. Wade Boggs strikes him out.
What's she throw for a softball? She's throwing softball, right?
Fast pitch. Yeah. But it's a softball.
Like fast pitch, But
so
what's she throwing? So what's she hit? Like,
I don't know. I would guess 65 to 70 maybe.
And striking out Wade Boggs.
Because so Boggs strikes out. So then they bring up somebody else. I can't remember who it was. Struck him out. Kevin Bass comes up, who played for the Astros.
I love Kevin Bass.
Strikes out. He kept, no, give me another one. Whiff. Give me another one. 6 pitches. He never touched her. So I come up, right, because they let her pitch to, I don't know, 6 or 7 people. And I come up, and I played the pity card. So I looked up at her. I'm like, take it easy on me. I'm just a weatherman. And she did. So I jacked one to left center. I doubled off her, right?
Did you choke up?
No, because she didn't throw. She threw me a meatball. I mean, it wasn't slow pitch.
Had she known that you could rake, though,
so here's what happens. So I'm standing on second base, right? And I'm just kind of like, oh my God. She looks at me. She points. Goes, go back. So I'm like, no. She's like, yeah, go back to home. I'm like, all right.
So you're a showman. Everyone, this is for people watching, right?
So I went back to home. And she threw 3 pitches, and I swear to God, I don't think the bat even got off my shoulder before it was already in the catcher's mitt. 1, 2, 3, sit out.
That's great. She's just throwing mocks. And what an athlete. She's like, I'm not going to let this guy.
I'm not going to let a weather guy get the best out of me, you know.
And so then, did you go back to second, or did you just go?
She made me sit down. She made me sit out.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's a great story.
So those are the kind of games that they used to have over at that park, and they don't do it anymore. And I played in a charity game with David Wells, and get a load of this. This was slow pitch softball over at Steinbrenner, and I was fired up, and I'm using aluminum bats for softball.
Yeah.
I cracked the aluminum bat off of a David Wells.
Boomer.
And he looked at it, he said, I have never seen anybody crack an aluminum bat. He signed it for me.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think I lost it somewhere along the road.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
but that was and same game, I hit a home run because it's softball, slow pitch, and a lot of people do. Toby Hall, who paid for the Rays, local guy, nice guy. He comes up, so I hit it, and it just barely cleared the home run fence, right? Because they bring the fence in. It's a 200-foot fence.
Yeah.
They don't use the real fences. So Toby Hall comes up afterwards after I hit the home run, and he jacked it a good 75 feet past where I hit it, and he comes over, and he goes, "Do you really think I'm going to let an effing weatherman outdo me?"
Oh, that's great. Yes.
So it was
That's awesome.
Yeah, those are good stories. So
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know how the heck we got off.
No, I
onto
think it's
that
great.
tangent.
I love that.
But
that was good.
But anyway, so let's see. So who else do we got here? Did anybody have any questions? Get back to the subject matter. Anybody have any questions for Sean about any more restaurants? or anything
Restaurants.
That you didn't cover?
Hey, if you live out in Brandon, the Brandon Food Truck Park, check that out. A lot of great. You know what I love about these food truck parks too? It's young chefs. They can't afford brick and mortar yet, and so they're trying to get their footing. And so they rent a food truck and they go out there. Some of this food truck food, this food truck culture now. It's a great place for food trucks. Brandon Food Truck Park. There's a place called Mando's. They do tacos. Also, we were talking about it. Michelin Bib Gourmand Award. If you guys want great tacos, Street Light Taco. I've been live there before. Street Light Taco in South Tampa is the real deal. Every single tortilla you get is fresh pressed for you.
Oh, wow.
And it comes from corn from 5 different farms in Mexico. Great.
Really?
Street Light Taco, the Michelin Bib Gourmand, which is not the star, not the recommendation, but right in the middle. It's great. What do we got on here?
Ryan says he was at David Wells' Perfect Game when he
that's
threw
nice,
the El
yeah.
Perfecto. Jules Brandon.
Oh, I love Anna. That's great. She stopped by to see us at the convention
you know
center
Anna?
the other day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And yeah, so I mean, this has been fun. Sean used to come by here from time to time for DPLs, and this was a
Listen,
gosh, it was a while
I feel
ago.
like I coined DPL. It was always Dennis Phillips Live, but I started calling it DPL because it was cooler.
It's a true story.
But really, at the beginning, and I can't remember I don't even know if we had a topic. I think we were just riffing. Like, I think we were just having fun, maybe some stories I had done, stuff like that. But we always have a good time.
Well, because we never really have a format. And when you show up, it's just like we're just talking. I mean, because back in the day, it was hard to fill the time, and I would have Sean in, and there's no problem filling time when Sean's here.
You had 2 Sean Dalys tonight when I was talking over myself. Well, it's funny because Dennis and I were ships that pass in the night because I'm in the morning. And sometimes I come in the studio, and then you're at night. And really, our only time that we're kind of together is football season because we're in these fantasy football leagues together. So then we'll like talk, we'll text or whatever. But that's our time to shine.
Sean, you have to hold on for a second because I got to go get the ban button because it looks like we have a spammer. So hold on. I don't know if you've seen this or not.
Wait,
hold on. Wait a minute. I forgot the ban button, but now I have to get it. All right, so.
Wait, we're banning someone?
Yeah, whenever somebody talks, whenever there's a spam or whenever they talk politics, we break out the ban button. And right there, that is a hi dear, life is beautiful when you blah, blah, blah. That is spam. So this goes to, I don't know who this is, Samson or whoever it is.
It's whenever their last name is before their first name, right?
But which one am I banning? I don't want to ban the wrong one here. I
think you're banning that one there.
The top one? Am I banning the top one?
We love Anna. I think we love Anna. We're banning Tony.
So we're banning.
Yeah, don't bet.
That's
sure.
Yeah. Which one is this?
So no, we don't want to delete Anna. We like her.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. But how do I?
I think you click on the face, not her. Go over there. Go there.
Options.
Yeah.
From Paris, Tennessee.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Right. Here we go.
Gone. All right, and it lets you block them, everything in addition to all live streams as well. So Samson, Tony, you're gone. All right. Anyway.
That was really exciting. The fans.
People love. People love the.
Yeah, the last name in front of the first name is never,
And I'll be honest, Anna Marie sent this because we would ban people, and I was banning people so much in hurricane season that I really think I broke my hand because I.
But what were they? What just so they were spammers?
Spammers and politics.
Would it be people trying to get also you ever find people trying to take advantage of other people with hurricanes
it happens
and stuff
sometimes.
like that?
And you know what? Today happened, and this was a real sad thing. It really bummed me out because there's a guy who posts a good bit on my page, and somebody, look, and we can talk about this. You know, obviously the political climate is very polarizing right now. It is, and a lot of people want to know how that's going to impact NOAA, the National Weather Service, and whatnot, right?
Sure.
So someone asked for my thoughts on it, and a person went in and just started talking politics. And I even came in and said, look, we don't talk politics here because all you're going to do is tick somebody off, right? It's going to be polarizing. We try to be positive. We try to get information out. And so I finally said one more time, like, look, you know, I'm going to give you, look, just stop doing this and let's just move on. And he came back with one more thing, and I'm like, dang.
And everyone's like, ban.
Yeah, they did. They did.
It.
And I felt bad because this guy's on a lot, but he doubled down when he shouldn't have. So, sometimes you shouldn't
double
down
on this guy. I
think,
think, honestly, Dennis, I think the reason why my food stories do so well is because food is kind of like the great equalizer, isn't it? Like, people can watch a food story, we can talk about food, we can talk about sports is the same, we can talk about baseball, and it's a safe haven, you know, it's a safe haven. So I think that's why you're seeing more and more interest in that. Like, people can go on Instagram and you read about a restaurant and stuff like that. That's fun, you know, but there's so much vitriol and hatred. Listen, I'm the fun guy in the morning, so I really stay away from it, and I get all types watching me, so I'm good with that, you know?
And I do too. I mean, it is because does anybody really think that you're going to change anyone's mind on anything by posting something on social media?
Right.
It's never going to change anybody's mind. So I just don't understand why you even bother, because it's just you're wasting your time and your breath. And I try, like you, I try to create some positivity. And I just, so unfortunately that was today. So yes, you got to witness the
I know
ban
people
button.
the reason I was smiling is because you were like, Sean's first ban. Like, it's like, you never forget your first ban.
There'll be many, one of many. So.
Oh, man.
All right, so anyway, we're going to let you run. You got to get up in the morning. But is there anything you didn't cover that you wanted to?
I think I shouted out all sorts of stuff. This was so much fun. I'll come back. We'll talk your baseball highlights.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah, you're the best of the best. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by.
I got to go take off my sweatshirt now.
And we'll, I was going to say you can keep it, but no, we got to keep that here for special guests. Right?
It smells like my cologne, though. My scent is definitely on it. That was great. See you later, my friend. Have fun. Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
I appreciate it. All right, so guys, there it is. That was DPL for tonight. Again, I am going to quickly show you, because we do want to at least talk a little bit about what's going on with the weather. So here's a look at the Euro AI. We're going to start with the Euro AI today, and we're obviously concerned about what's going to be popping across the plains and the deep south. There's your low, 994 low on Saturday night, and then the 540 line. Look at the Euro AI bringing the 540 line Monday almost down to the panhandle. So you got low pressure strengthening off the North Carolina coast. And then you got that 540 line, and we're going to have and then it's still showing that low developing off the coast. Look at that. And then another front next Thursday, not quite as cold, but still brings that 540 line into near Savannah. So that's the Euro AI. But if you look at the Euro, right? So this is Thursday, this is Friday, this is Saturday. Saturday night. Thanks again, man. Saturday night is when I think the best risk of severe weather from Alabama through Tennessee. And then into western and northern Georgia, overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning, and maybe even in the panhandle. Look down there. Look down the panhandle right there. I see a little something there. And then the front comes through here on Sunday night, and then we clear out. And then that low, look at that little low down there. Nothing tropical or anything, but just kind of spinning out. And then the Euro actually no longer brings that second front in. Let's see if the GFS does. There's Friday, there's Saturday. Again, severe weather is likely across Tennessee, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, northern Alabama. And then it moves east, 540 line. Goes into Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and then it's actually the run that didn't have an update. So let's take the 12Z run and see what that shows. All right, here we go. Here's the 12Z. This will show more. So this takes it through, and then it's it's not showing. Oh, there it is. There's the second front right there. So a weakening front and not quite as cold behind it. So there it is. All right, guys. Tomorrow, obviously, we'll be back with weather, lots of weather, because we'll be just a day or two out from the severe weather potential. And so, again, a huge thanks to Sean Daly. You can follow Sean on Instagram, and he'll, he's a lot of fun. And here's the nice thing, a little behind the scenes about Sean. Sean is every bit the nice guy in real life as he is on TV. He is that same guy on TV as off guy. as off TV. Just a super, super nice guy, really funny, really personable. And thanks to Sean for stopping by. And no tornadoes here, Jill. I don't even believe we're going to see severe weather out of this. I really don't. I think we're going to see a few showers and maybe a quick storm overnight Sunday into early Monday. So thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And we will see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. Have a great night, guys.